Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. It's episode 4 of the base 6 build, and where we left off I was about to finish this neck and tidy up the neck pocket. I have done both of those things. We now have a very highly polished and very nice feeling neck. It's reassuringly solid, is what I'll say about that. The finish has come up rather nice as well, if I do say so myself, and the neck pocket is now exactly where I wanted it. Goes in there pretty tight, and yes, it will pick up the body without any bolts in there, so that's exactly what you want. Now, I need to do some things to the bridge. Now, as discussed in previous episodes, of course, I need this bridge for its extreme intonation adjustment, but I do not need the Telecaster pickup surround, so I think the first order of business is going to be very carefully disassemble all of this, stick it in the vise, and then chop that bit off. So that's gone fairly well, nicely rounded, nicely polished off. Turns out there must be a layer of copper plating underneath the chrome plating to help that stick, so yeah, you can just see this little copper edge around the thing. One thing I am glad to see is that as I was lining everything up and marking those holes, the centre hole for the bridge wound up dead on the centre line. It's absolutely smack bang in the middle of it, so this is good. That is exactly what I wanted. In fact, I'm quite relieved that I got there because I wasn't entirely certain I was going to at one point. I'm actually going to attach the bridge. I'm going to drill the holes and screw it down because I want to make sure that when I drill the through holes into this, that they are in exactly the right place. I don't want to run the risk of, marking out 4 of them and then suddenly it shifts just a little bit. That's not going to be any use to anyone. So, yeah, I'm going to attach that, drill the through holes, probably drill out the back as well for the ferrules to go in, and yes, then I can start thinking about pickup cavities and control cavity. Now, for the controls on this thing, I was going to go all out. I was going to have a phase, series parallel, and coil split switch on each pickup. That's a little bit of overkill, especially for me. I mean, honestly, I would be happy with a volume for each pickup and nothing else. I am actually going to put a blend knob, a master volume, and I'm thinking of breaking my vow and actually putting a tone knob on, because I'm thinking with the higher registers on this thing, if you're going to be putting it through a guitar amp, the tone knob would actually be of some use, whereas on a normal bass, I just put it on full, or just disconnect it entirely. I don't believe in tone knobs, but in this case, I'm thinking it would actually be an asset to the instrument. So, small pickup cavity with 3 knobs, a output jack on the side, 2 pickup cavities, and drilling the through holes and then recessing the ferrules from the back and then drilling the bolt holes and a couple of recesses for the washers on the back of that as well. And then I can actually start going to town and sculpting this body, because it would be nice if it looked nice. I'm having a bit of trouble here because I am sort of struggling to see pencil lines on this dark varnish. I just can't see what I'm doing properly, so I'm going to sand it all off. That'll make everything just a little bit easier. So that is all holes drilled, all important cavities evacuated. I'm not really happy with the way these pickup cavities turned out. It's just a little bit rough. I think I'm a little bit out of practice with the chisels, and this is not the best wood to be trying to carve anyway. Actually, ironically, by the time I'd got my iron, control cavity came out really nice. So now I get to carve this body. So the original plan was to do a sort of a Spectre-style carve with quite a curve across the top and then a sort of a scoop in the middle. I don't necessarily know how I'm going to get away with that. All of these things are sort of drilled out to a specific depth. I mean, I could drill them a little bit deeper, but then I'm not too sure how to route that edge on an angle. Yeah. It all gets a little bit complicated. So I'm probably not actually going to do too much to the back other than sort of round the edges over and put a bit of a stomach carve through there. But we do have an awful lot of thickness to deal with. So the top is going to get very, very curved and very rounded off. And hopefully we can make this thing look as good as it possibly can. Now that's a bit more like it. I'm pretty pleased with that. That thing with the angle grinder and the sanding disc, yeah, that's something I've been wanting to try for a very long time. But most of the time all I'm doing is just rounding off the edges, and it's not the sort of thing you do if you just want to take off a little. It very much will take off a lot. In fact, I took a little bit more than I wanted out of this area. I sort of wanted to make sure that I kept this bit sort of level, whereas this bit is more rounded, but then as of course I was leveling out, I sort of took a little bit too much as I moved up the body. So after 3 hours of sanding, it is now hand sanded to 240. It is ready for its first coat of finish. This is the money shot. This is what you all came to see, isn't it? It is 48 hours and about 35 coats of glue later. It's ready for its final polish. I was originally intending to try the UV resin on this one, but yeah, the weather was a little bit grey and drab, so I couldn't really do it yesterday, and then the super glue was just going on so smooth and drying so fast, and I just kept on going. I just kept on doing it, and now it's basically done. I have sanded it out to 1000 grit, and then some, I think it's 000, is it 000? Yes, 000 synthetic steel wool. And that's what you're seeing here. If you were going for a satin finish, you'd probably just about leave it at that. I mean, I think that looks, pretty nice as it is, but I do want a bit more gloss. So I've got some polish. Peak, not sponsored, but very, very good at polishing superglue. Not so good at polishing UV resin. I had to get a bit more aggressive than this. This is just my standard polishing regime anyway. I know I have been experimenting with different things, and I've noticed that I have a tendency to look for new ways of doing things and new products and new tools and new processes, but then I always just seem to revert to the thing that I know is going to work properly. I don't know what that says about me, or I don't know what that says about the processes that I've been experimenting with. If they're just not quite up to the things that I'm already doing, then, there's still some refinement to work out there, I guess. But, in the meantime, let's polish a body. Well, that's a bit more like it, I think you'll agree. Very happy with the progress on that. That's looking great. It's quite light as well. I'm pretty sure we're going to come in just under 3.5 kg on that. I haven't weighed anything yet, but it's not very heavy. Very, very happy. So, yes, I will be assembling this in the next video, but in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you real soon. Cheers.